Hello adventurers, and welcome to another Black Desert mobile video. This one's just going to be a really quick update video going over the new content that we've been given. So the main thing that's kind of featured in this update is Nightmare Tshira. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it throughout this video. So Nightmare Tshira is basically the new nightmare mode that we've been given, but this is pretty much open 24/7. Like, you can go in at any time. The main part of this is, or the main caveat to this is that there are debuffs that's going to slowly lower your CP, so it's going to lower your ability to be farming in there, and those debuffs do last for quite a while. I believe it's for 6 hours, so yeah, but just kind of my first thoughts on it. My first take is it's just a farming zone. There's some PvP, but even then the farming's not that great, and I haven't seen any of the bosses yet. So once we figure out like the frequency and the spawn location of those bosses, that'll probably make it a little bit better. But yeah, so this is a new area that is in Debuffs. You can enter Nightmare Tshira through the Dark Rift. So basically just go to Debuffs, and then on your minimap you can go to Dark Rift and it'll auto path you over there. There are two different difficulties here. So we have Nightmare Tshira, and then we have Toxic Tshira. So the first one is available at 40k CP. There are really no requirements to get in here. All it kind of takes is make sure that you're up to this point in the story and you just walk straight in. I didn't have to do a story. I didn't have to do like any quests to get in here. It's just immediately available. For the Toxic Tshira, it's available at 68,000 CP or higher. These are kind of important because once you start looking at the debuffs, it's gonna tell you whether or not you actually want to farm in Toxic or if you want to farm in the normal one. But these are basically the available rewards. You can get Sealed Charms of Succession, some Dimensional Fragments, Chaos Crystals, Shadow Knots, stuff like that. The main thing that I've kind of seen from this is like it drops a pretty decent amount of silver items, so it might be a decent money maker, but I haven't seen any Sealed Charms of Succession, so maybe I just haven't farmed long enough. But again, reading off of this, Tshira monsters are set to match the suggested CP of 40,000 plus, and then Toxic Tshira monsters are set to match the suggested CP of 68,000 plus. Monsters appearing in Nightmare Tshira become stronger according to the CP ranks that are refreshed every day at midnight. So I believe what this is saying is it's going to look at our CP ranking, like I guess for the server, and then it's going to adjust the CP based on that. For today, they're probably at like 68,000 flat, and then if like the top 100 players are over that, it will probably adjust to that. It doesn't say any other information other than that, but yeah, I guess we'll figure that out eventually. Nightmare Tshira can have up to 50 participants enter per difficulty level. You can stay for 10 minutes after entering, and remaining time is displayed at the top center of the screen. The remaining time is renewed when you defeat adventurers, bosses, or monsters. If there's no remaining time, you can no longer stay in Nightmare, but you can re-enter, and whenever you re-enter, it's renewed to 10 minutes. So it's basically saying you have to kill something within 10 minutes, otherwise it's going to kick you out. And then also there is a cap of only 50 participants, so if whole guilds really want to get in there all at once, then yeah, they might be able to do that. The zone becomes unstable if 41 or more participants enter a difficulty level. If it's unstable, you basically just can't revive in place, and time only renews if you kill another adventurer. So if you're over 41 people, you really only have 10 minutes, or you'll have to kill someone else. So this will basically keep us from just camping inside the whole time. The fog is too dense in Nightmare Tshira, so the topography is not displayed on the minimap. This is basically saying you can't see anything on the mini map. You can't see like people's location, you can't see monster location. All you see is battles happening in the area, and then also you can't pursue enemies or remember the adventurers you defeated in Nightmare Tshira. When you first come in here, the CP is decreased by 500, so it's going to be 250 AP, 250 DP, and then this toxin effect stacks every 10 seconds. So your CP is going to keep going down every 10 seconds, but it's not by a flat 500, so just kind of keep that in mind. The Tshira toxin effect is applied to the family, so this happens to all of your characters, so you can't just swap characters and then go back in. And then these are the numbers for stacking. The easiest way to look at this is look at your time elapsed. So 30 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours. These are the CP decreases that you'll have. So if you're at like, I don't know, let's say you're at like 75k CP, by the time you're in there for 2 hours, you'll have lost 45 or 4.5 thousand CP. So you'll be at 70,500 CP. That's like the easiest way to look at it. And it just keeps going and going and going. However, there are more caveats to this. So if you enter Tshira difficulty, a CP limit of 32,000 and I guess another 32,000 is applied. If your AP and DP are 40,000 each at entry, they will apply as 32,000. So it basically caps your AP and your DP. If your CP exceeds the max CP upon entry, the Tshira toxin effect will decrease your CP until it falls below the specified value, meaning you will remain max CP until then. So because you entered at 40,000 each and this max CP is 32,000 each, your CP won't go down until it's reached that number. So what this means is if you enter at 35,000 AP and then 34,500 DP, maintain AP of 32,000 and 31,500 DP until the toxins stack to decrease you below what that cap is. So this is saying you have 3,250 CP of wiggle room before your max stats actually start dropping. I don't actually know where this shows you this cap. I went in earlier, but I didn't see a cap for this, so maybe that'll be adjusted daily. But again, yeah, if you enter, you're not going to see those changes until you've gone below whatever that set cap is. However, you do still immediately lose the 500 CP. There's no way around that, but it's not that big of a deal. But with this being said, it is kind of worth looking at, like, okay, if the cap is 68,000 for the higher difficulty, how much time do you actually have before it's gonna like affect you? So like if your CP is right at 68,000, it might actually be in your best interest to just go to the lower difficulty, because pretty much immediately you're going to start feeling these effects of these CP drops. Like if you're in there for an hour, you're kind of debuffed a decent amount. Whereas if you have like 2 hours of farming time as wiggle room, you'll probably be fine. But yeah, just kind of feel it out, see which one's better for you. And then defeating monsters, you will obtain loot. And you can check the loot by clicking on this loot icon up in the top left. Once you've checked the loot, it will no longer be displayed on the list. So it's just saying like you can't just keep consistently looking at the loot. It's just going to disappear after that. Or it's basically going to reset. So not a big deal there. Kavariak, I don't know how to say that, but that's how I'm going to say it, will be summoned nearby while you defeat regular monsters. The adventurer who lands the last hit on Kavariak will get rewards. So I'm assuming this is kind of like it's a violent mob. I think that it just spawns anywhere while you're killing monsters, so this could be kind of random. And then you can get some pretty good rewards here. So Sealed Charm of Succession, Dimensional Fragments, Chaos Crystals, Advanced XP Scrolls, and the Toxic Sap, which is just the silver item. The boss, Tshira, will appear at random after a certain period of time. You can get the following as kill rewards, so pretty much the exact same stuff. Everything looks the same. I think the only thing that was different was the shadow knots. You can get shadow knots from this one. And then the XP scrolls are the same. So yeah, this one, I don't know the spawn rate. I don't know if it's going to give you some type of notification whenever it spawns. But just keep an eye out. This is going to be like the main thing in this area is killing the bosses. So you don't want to be super AFK, but it's kind of an AFK-able area. You don't really want to be paying a whole lot of attention to this because I think the drops just aren't that good. But you realistically can't be in there for too long. And then the last thing about this is the buffs that are applied. So you get magic and normal food buffs, or the advanced and the normal food buffs. Your pet field item drop rate skills work in here. Again, you can only have one pet that uses that. The Altar Goblin's Blessing effect applies in here, and then the Flute of Unity effect applies in here. So basically all of the standard buffs, they work in here. The thing that is not applied is hot time, server hot time, and yeah, so basic farming information. And then the Twisted Nightmare that was in Valia was now closed. So there is no more old Twisted Nightmare. Like, that is completely gone. Moving on, so the next big thing is the Fountain of Origin water. So these are items that you can farm, but then also craft. And what this does is it cleanses the toxin levels from you. So this is an item that will basically clear the debuff. So they have added Fountain and Origin Water. This is an item that can be cleanse Tshira toxin effects. Each Fountain of Origin Water purifies 60 levels of Tshira toxin stacks. To give you like a quick idea of how much 60 levels is, let's just look at this. So 60 levels is 10 minutes of debuff. So it's really not a lot. So yeah, we'll have to see how often you can get these items. It shows that there's a weekly limit of 3 that you can craft, so that's not a lot. It's just going to give you another 30 minutes. And it looks like I was actually wrong. So it looks like the actual toxins stay in your system for 9 hours, not 6 hours. Again, you can craft this. It'll basically give you another 30 minutes of farm time if you really want it. But yeah, any remaining toxins will just disappear after 9 hours. So it doesn't seem very useful to make this, but it is an option. So you can actually farm these by defeating monsters in Drigan zones and in the land of Shere Khan. It can also be obtained by doing Chaos Rift 5, 6, and 7. So nothing too crazy there. And then the next stuff is like there's character updates. They made some changes. I never go over PvP or character buffs, so if you want to, you can read that. So I did just want to go into the next piece of content, which is concentrated HP potions. These are going to be very, very interesting. This is going to make our memory imprints that have bonus healing for HP potions a lot better. So before, our max HP potions were 1000 HP. This is now 1.5k HP. So they have added these basic info. There is a weekly limit to how many you can craft. So you can craft 3 bundles of 300 per week. So that is 900 of these, which is still a really big amount of them. To craft them, what you need are exuberant sunstones, which you can get from talking to your fairy, and jumbo HP potions, which you can either craft or you can get from like doing quests. And then the main thing is spirit powder. So you'll have to loot these by killing monsters in Camisylvia zones. So you can get them from either Camisylvia loot chest or Camisylvia advanced loot chest. So basically any of the Camisylvia zones will drop either of those. Another thing is these spirit powders can be registered on the market. So if you really want to, you can buy them from the market and then you can craft them. Or you can just farm in that zone. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to farm in these zones. because there's a couple of things that I actually want to farm in some of these Camisylvia zones, but yeah, I'll just kind of keep that to myself. There was also some memory imprint adjustments. You can basically favorite items now, and then also like show what your preferred settings are. I'm not going to really go into this. You can read this if you want to. A nice quality of life buff was that it shows you on the right here which of your items are giving you which buffs, so you kind of know like, oh, I don't actually need evade for DP, so on my helmet I have something that I can change, or like, oh, these are the things that I really need, so I can't change my necklace. It's just something to help you navigate this menu, I guess. It's useful. But then also whenever you inspect another adventurer, in the top left you can click search memory imprints, and you can just copy off their homework basically. And then another minor change is character selection screen. They have made a weather setting, so this is just minor. It doesn't really do anything for the game. It's just you want to have a different setting in the background. So yeah, super minor stuff there. And then made some changes in here. For the UI, they adjusted Ozunok Arena to show that it's a boss indicator, but then they removed the boss mark from the Black Shrine. I don't know if this means that boss pets doesn't work for Black Shrine, but it does mean that it works for Ozunok. So take that with a grain of salt. And then there were some error fixes. I don't really go over those, but there are upcoming updates, which I kind of wanted to let you know. So there's not going to be an update next week because of the Korean New Year, Lunar New Year holiday. But then for accessories, after the update on February 11th, they're going to be increasing the CP for awakened accessories and enchantment +9 or higher, chaos grade or higher equipment, basically. So as a result, what they're doing is they're locking us out from being able to buy Caphras ring, necklace, earrings, belt, and bracelet. So we can't register items on there. We can't buy them. They've all been halted, and all those items went to our storage. So for 2 weeks, we can't buy them, but the prices were messed up anyways. No one was really buying them right now. But yeah, just kind of look forward to that. Oh, actually, is that 2 weeks? That's 3 weeks. No, that's 2 weeks. Nope, I'm crazy. That is 3 weeks. Wow. Okay, so we're locked out for quite a while. But anyways, no one was really buying them anyways, but just a heads up is that our CP is going to be adjusted for +9 accessories. So if you want more CP, go for +9s, I guess. But I'm going to be honest, I just lost about 4 trillion silver going for it for another +9. So it's super RNG, and it's up to you if you want to or not. Also, just as a heads up, these outfits are going away. These are limited time, so get them while you can if you really want to. I just bought them from the market, and that's my way of getting them. But with that being said, a really quick look at the new events. There's not a lot. The main thing is crafting these concentrated HP potions. Just consume 1,000 stamina, do 50,000, use 50,000 ancient tablets, and then do 100 constellation, and you can make 2 bundles of these concentrated HP potions. So it's pretty quick and easy. Just make sure you do that. It's not that big of a deal. You can do it twice for the entire event period. And then also we have the Fairies Adventure, which you can get 20,000 restoration scrolls from. It's nothing crazy, but all you have to do is like just make sure that you're farming, you're doing some life skills, and yeah, you'll get dice eventually. And then obviously if you do this dice piece event as well, you'll get even more dice. But other than that, there was really nothing else. So yeah, just make sure that you start farming in the, what is this thing called again? The Dark Rift, which is over here in Duvenkroon. I'm gonna be doing Toxic, but the rewards don't seem that good. I'm gonna sit in here for like an hour and see what it says. really quickly, something you can look at is this interface right here. It says remaining, you have 9 hours. What this is saying is how much longer those toxins are staying in your system. So yeah, there's that. And then you can read the rules over here if you want to as well. But here at the bottom, it kind of explains like how the rankings affect the CP in here. So available at 68,000 CP or higher. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to change based on these rankings, but we will see. And then also, again, just as a final reminder, if you want to make those HP potions, just go to craft, go to, I'm assuming, material, go to process, and it is going to be right here. It looks like maybe we can craft. It shows a weekly limit of 3, but then you have 2 options. It's basically just saying like one is spirit bound, one is not spirit bound. So one is the ones that you craft, and then the other ones are the ones that you get from quests. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be linked. Like if you do the ones that you craft, you're gonna also lose from the ones that are spirit bound. But yeah, that's just an assumption that I'm making. But with that being said, that is everything that I had for y'all today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, bye. Okay, so this is a post-recording recording. Just a heads up. I've been farming in the new zone for like a tiny bit of time, and wow, I have gotten a lot of sealed charms of succession. So this is going to be a very, very good zone to be farming. However, my new impression is, wow, it is going to be dominated by whales. I don't know what the drop rate is going to be like between the lower one and the, shoot, what's the other one called? The higher level one, I guess. But yeah, it might be in your best interest to farm the lower CP zone, but the higher CP zone, there's a lot of fighting going on right now, but the rewards seem pretty good. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, and good luck with y'all's drops.